In the bustling city of Brightville, where skyscrapers towered over busy streets and the constant hum of life filled the air, there was a small, forgotten corner known as Greenwood Avenue. Tucked away from the glamour and glitz of the city, Greenwood was home to a diverse community of people who lived simple lives, each with their own dreams, struggles, and stories. Among these residents was Mrs. Thompson, an elderly widow who lived alone in a quaint little house at the end of the street. Despite her age and the challenges life had thrown her way, Mrs. Thompson was known for her kindness and generosity. She spent her days tending to her garden, baking cookies, and looking out for her neighbors, always with a smile on her face and a kind word to share. One chilly autumn evening, a new family moved into the neighborhood. The Johnsons were a young couple, Tim and Sarah, with their energetic 6-year-old son, Charlie. They had moved to Brightville in search of a fresh start and were delighted to find such a welcoming community in Greenwood. As the days turned into weeks, Mrs. Thompson noticed that the Johnsons were struggling to settle in. Tim worked long hours at a local factory, while Sarah juggled taking care of Charlie and unpacking boxes in their new home. Sensing their need for help, Mrs. Thompson decided to extend a hand of kindness. One morning, she knocked on their door, bearing a basket of freshly baked cookies. Tim and Sarah were touched by her gesture and invited her in. Over a cup of tea, Mrs. Thompson listened to their story and offered to help in any way she could. From that day on, Mrs. Thompson became a regular visitor at the Johnsons' home. She would help Sarah with household chores, read stories to Charlie, and even babysit him when Tim and Sarah needed a break. Her kindness and selflessness brought warmth and light into their lives, and soon, the Johnsons began to feel like they had found a second family in Mrs. Thompson. One day, as Christmas approached, Mrs. Thompson noticed that the Johnsons didn't have a Christmas tree. Determined to make their first Christmas in Brightville memorable, she enlisted the help of her neighbors and surprised the Johnsons with a beautifully decorated tree, complete with presents for Charlie. Tears welled up in Tim and Sarah's eyes as they thanked Mrs. Thompson and the neighbors for their kindness. That Christmas, surrounded by their newfound friends, the Johnsons felt truly blessed. As the years went by, the Johnsons thrived in Greenwood, thanks in large part to Mrs. Thompson's gift of kindness. They never forgot the love and generosity they had received and made it their mission to pay it forward, becoming pillars of the community themselves. And so, the gift of kindness that Mrs. Thompson had given so freely continued to spread, touching the lives of many and weaving a tapestry of love and compassion that would forever be a part of the fabric of Greenwood Avenue.